Everywhere you look, car lots are overflowing. Rows of unsold vehicles gathering dust for months. Dealers are slashing prices on cars like the Nissan Versa, desperate to move them after 472 days on the lot. Where else can you buy a brand new car for under $16,000 and bargain even further? Yet, just a few feet away, buyers are fighting bidding wars over Toyota Corolla Crosses and Siennas, snapped up in less than a month with little hope of a deal. They say it's all about supply and demand, but what they aren't telling you is who really wins and who pays when desperation collides with scarcity. So why are some of these models impossible to sell, while others never even touch the lot? 472 days. That's how long a Nissan Versa can sit unsold, collecting dust while dealers scramble to make rent. In the Midwest, where the largest Versa backlog stretches across the Chicago suburbs, some lots are holding over 150 units, each aging past a year, each a silent reminder of a market gone sideways. The floor manager at one of those dealerships puts it bluntly, "We haven't sold a Versa this month. Nissan wants us moving metal, but our floor is packed. Every deal is a margin squeeze." That's not just talk. In Cincinnati, a buyer recently drove away in a brand new Versa for under $14,000, nearly 23% off sticker, after stacking a $2,000 Nissan rebate, $1,200 dealer cash, and a final market adjustment. The official average price sits at $15,979, but that's just the starting point for negotiation. Dealers are layering on 0% APR offers, extra trade-in bonuses, anything to clear the glut before the next shipment lands. Move up the price ladder and the desperation only gets fancier. The Jaguar F-Pace, a $70,000 luxury SUV, has a 336-day supply. That means nearly a year's worth of unsold inventory, with some units entering their second birthday on the lot. Jaguar dealers in Dallas and Atlanta are advertising $10,000 off or more, factory cash, year-end bonuses, and so-called model year support stacked until the profit margin is gone. One Texas dealer admits, "If it hits 180 days, I'll do wholesale if I can clear floor plan interest." The math is relentless. Every extra month costs hundreds in interest, so the longer the F-Pace sits, the more leverage you hold. Some buyers are walking away with 18% off MSRP, and those deals are hiding in plain sight for anyone willing to ask. Even premium German sedans aren't immune. The Audi A4, once the darling of the entry luxury crowd, now lingers for an average of 312 days. Dealers bet big on legacy sedans, ignoring the SUV wave and Audi's own shift to electrification. Now, with the A4's end-of-cycle status and no major refresh, they're left discounting $5,000 or more off the average $46,488 price. Factory incentives are thin, but dealer markdowns are getting steeper as month after month passes without a sale. Buyers who show up armed with competing offers or point to aged inventory data can push even further, sometimes into territory that makes managers wince. For every Versa, F-Pace, or A4 sitting unsold, the pressure to move inventory is crushing. Dealers face mounting floor plan costs, hundreds of dollars per car per month, while manufacturers threaten audits and demand performance. The result is a feeding frenzy for bargain hunters. Stack the rebates, push for the lowest APR, and watch as the numbers tumble. In this corner of the market, patience isn't just a virtue, it's a weapon. If you're willing to negotiate, these slow sellers are yours for a fraction of what's on the window sticker, and the longer they sit, the better your chances get. Maserati Grecale, 302 days. That's how long some of these $80,000 luxury SUVs have been waiting for a buyer. Almost 10 months of sitting, depreciating, and draining cash from every dealer who took a gamble on Maserati's big launch. The incentives are staggering. $10,000 in factory cash, another $3,500 from the dealer, and still, The Grecali's struggle to leave the showroom has become a running joke in Miami and Los Angeles. One Florida manager spells it out. 12 grand off, plus free maintenance, and I'll still lose money if it sits another month. But the Grecale isn't alone. Dodge Hornet, the so-called Italian-American compact SUV, is clogging up Stellantis lots from New Jersey to Arizona. 266 days of supply, and dealers are begging the factory to hit pause. Instead, more units keep arriving. During last summer's allocation call, Dodge dealers pleaded for a production freeze, warning that lots were jammed and that even $5,000 discounts weren't enough. Stellantis pushed back, citing global targets and contract obligations. Tempers flared, and a handful of dealers walked out of the meeting, convinced they'd be left holding the bag. Now, with overstocked Hornets gathering dust, managers stack every incentive in the book: cashback, low APR, extra trade-in money, and even bundled freebies like all-weather mats, remote starters, and prepaid maintenance. In Phoenix, one buyer drove away in a Hornet GT for $29,000, more than $7,000 below sticker, after the dealer threw in a set of tires and a $500 gas card. The official average price sits at $36,536, but that's a fantasy when you're staring at a row of unsold crossovers with 2024 tags. Floor managers face a daily balancing act. Each unsold Grecale or Hornet racks up hundreds of dollars in floor plan interest every month. Some stores are carrying $20,000 or more in monthly financing costs just to keep these unwanted models parked. The longer they sit, the more desperate the offers become. Managers must juggle pressure from corporate, angry calls from the bank, and a sales team that's tired of pitching cars nobody wants. Every week, new factory incentives land in the inbox, sometimes stacking on top of last month's, sometimes requiring the car to be converted to a demo just to unlock the extra cash. But even demo units are piling up, with buyers wary of anything that's been sitting for half a year or more. For shoppers, it's a buffet of leverage. Dealers will throw in accessories, extend warranties, pay off your old lease, or even cover your first few payments just to move the metal. The key is patience and a willingness to walk if the deal isn't right. The diversity of unsold inventory goes far beyond basic sedans. Luxury SUVs, crossovers, and performance models are all on clearance. As floor managers scramble to keep the lights on, the negotiation power shifts entirely to the buyer. And with each passing month, the deals only get sweeter. 259 days. That's the average time a Volvo V60 Cross Country sits unsold, quietly depreciating while dealers hope for a miracle. Walk onto a Volvo lot in late summer, and you'll find rows of V60 Cross Countries gathering dust, each one a negotiation waiting to happen. Officially, the average price is $56,560, but in practice, buyers are walking away with deals thousands below that, just for showing up and asking the right questions. The reason is simple. There's no line, no sense of urgency, and no shortage of supply. Dealers know every extra week means more floor plan interest, more pressure from corporate, and more leverage for savvy shoppers. But the V60 Cross Country isn't the only car with a hidden story. Across town, the Porsche Taycan faces a different kind of problem, one that's harder to spot from the street. With an average supply of 234 days and a price tag north of $143,000, you'd expect Taycans to be rare, maybe even exclusive. Instead, hundreds sit unsold, some tucked away in off-site storage lots or listed as in transit long after they've arrived. Automotive forums have been buzzing for months about these tactics. Whistleblowers point to satellite images showing Taycans parked by the dozens on rented industrial land, nowhere near a showroom. On paper, dealers claim the cars are still en route, but the reality is they're just out of sight, waiting for the market to catch up or the next round of incentives to drop. It's not just a Porsche problem. Ford dealers have been caught using the same playbook with the Mustang Mach-E, masking true inventory levels to avoid panicking buyers and to keep prices from collapsing. The result is an inventory illusion. Cars that look scarce online, but in truth, are piling up off the books. Industry analysts and consumer watchdogs have traced these patterns through leaked dealer memos, forum posts, and even drone footage, all pointing to a coordinated effort to hide the mountain of unsold electric vehicles. Meanwhile, back at the Volvo store, there's no need for subterfuge. The V60 Cross Country's supply glut is out in the open, and buyers have all the power. Dealers are quick to stack rebates, extend financing, and throw in extras just to get the cars moving. The difference comes down to tactics. Some brands mask the problem, hoping to prop up prices and maintain an illusion of demand. Others, like Volvo, simply ride out the storm and hope a few deep discounts will clear the backlog. The mechanics of this deception aren't lost on industry insiders. One former inventory manager describes it as creative accounting for cars, a way to keep the books looking healthy while the real supply keeps growing. For buyers, the lesson is clear. If a car seems scarce online, dig deeper. The truth might be hiding behind a fence or logged as in transit long after it's arrived. And if you're shopping for a slow seller like the V60 Cross Country, every day that passes is another chip in your favor. The longer they sit, the more desperate the deal becomes. For the Taycan and Mach-E, the game is about perception. For the V60, it's about patience and knowing when to strike. 232 days. That's how long the average Mini convertible waits for a buyer, its soft top gathering dust while finance managers run the numbers again and again. On paper, the Mini convertible should be a summer darling, quirky, premium, and priced at $43,398. In reality, it's become a fixture of the showroom, moved only when a dealer is ready to slash thousands off the sticker. There's no secret factory demo cash here, no hidden pile of mini money waiting to be unlocked. Instead, dealers quietly convert slow-selling units into demos or loaners, then chop the price to match the car's new status. One New England store recently listed a 2024 convertible demo, barely 1,900 miles, still with the new car smell, for $36,900. That's $6,500 off, justified by a few test drives and a desperate need to clear floor plan debt. The story repeats with the Alfa Romeo Giulia. 221 days of supply, $55,424 average price, and a showroom that feels more like a museum than a marketplace. Alfa dealers don't have access to official demo conversion bonuses either. What they do have is a mounting stack of unsold sedans and a corporate parent, Stellantis, pushing for volume at any cost. The result? Demos, service loaners, and aged new units all get lumped together, marked down aggressively as each month ticks by. In Chicago, a Giulia once used for test drives sold for $42,000, over $13,000 below MSRP, after dealer markdowns and a last-minute aged inventory bonus from regional management. The buyer didn't ask for demo cash. They just negotiated hard, pointed at the car's 240 days in stock, and refused to budge. This is the quiet side of the inventory game. No headlines, no viral outrage, just the slow grind of depreciation and the relentless math of floor plan interest. Every extra week costs the dealer money. By the time a Mini convertible, or Giulia, hits 6 months unsold, managers start looking for any excuse to move it. Demo conversion, courtesy vehicle, even a short-term lease to a local business. Anything to get the car off the books and free up capital for something that might actually sell. The financial logic is brutal. Floor plan costs for a $55,000 Giulia can run $300 a month or more. After 200 days, that's nearly $2,000 in interest alone. Money that comes straight out of the dealer's margin. Once a car gets demo status, the price cut is immediate. Buyers willing to accept a few extra miles can save thousands, with discounts often reaching 15 to 20% off sticker. Dealers try to offset these losses with volume bonuses or by moving higher demand models at full price, but the net effect is clear. The longer a slow seller sits, the more leverage the buyer gains. There's no manufacturer rescue package on the horizon for these models. Unlike the aggressive factory cash offered on Jaguars or Maseratis, The Mini Convertible and Alpha Giulia depend on dealer-level desperation. Every month, more units cross the threshold from new to demo, from demo to clearance, until the only question left is how much of a loss the store is willing to take. For buyers who know how to spot aged inventory, this is the ultimate opportunity. Just don't expect a parade or a factory check to sweeten the deal. The only incentive here is time, and it's running out for every luxury sedan and convertible still waiting for a home. 20 days. That's all a Toyota Corolla Cross gets before it's gone. Snapped up, paperwork signed, and keys handed over, sometimes before the car even hits the lot. In Houston last July, more than 30 buyers camped out overnight in 95-degree heat, all chasing just 5 incoming Corolla Crosses. By sunrise, the line stretched around the block, folding chairs and coolers, marking territory like a Black Friday sale. At 7 a.m., a dealership staffer walked the queue, clipboard in hand, collecting names and deposits. Tension flared when 2 families tried to cut in after dawn. Tempers rose, voices got loud, and staff threatened to call security. By noon, every unit was gone, each one sold at $1,500 to $3,000 over sticker. Not a single buyer got a discount. One Houston buyer, still sweating in the parking lot, vented on social media. "I waited all night and still paid $2,500 over MSRP. They wouldn't even throw in floor mats." The story repeats itself for the Lexus RX Hybrid. With only 26 days supply, the RX Hybrid never makes it to the general inventory. Dealers call regular customers the moment a shipment is allocated, and units are spoken for before the plastic is peeled off the seats. One Dallas sales manager puts it bluntly: "We have a wait list of 40 people for every RX Hybrid. If you're not on it, you're not getting one. And if you want to jump the line, be ready to pay." That's not an exaggeration. Dealers routinely tack on $5,000 market adjustment fees, and buyers sign anyway. No rebates, no haggling. Just a take-it-or-leave-it attitude. Toyota Sienna buyers face a similar wall. With a 29-day supply, there's no negotiation. Dealers are adding $3,000 paint protection packages, nitrogen-filled tires, and extended warranties, pushing the average transaction price to $51,591 and up. One Chicago dad, desperate for a minivan before school started, described the process as humiliating. He put down a $1,000 deposit, waited 3 months, and still had to pay $2,800 over sticker just to secure a build slot. The dealer's response? "There are 15 people behind you who'll pay more. Do you want the van or not?" For buyers used to playing the discount game, these high-demand models are a rude awakening. The old rules, negotiating, waiting for rebates, shopping multiple dealers, don't apply. MSRP is just the starting point, and dealer markups are non-negotiable. Staff quote wait times of 4 to 8 months, sometimes longer if you want a specific color or trim. In Los Angeles, one Toyota manager summed it up: "If you want a Sienna, you get in line, you pay what we ask, and you wait. That's the market." The frustration is everywhere. Social media is filled with stories of buyers sleeping in their cars, losing deposits when dealers reprioritize allocations, or being forced to buy unwanted add-ons just to keep their spot in line. The message is clear: scarcity breeds desperation, and desperation means dealers hold all the cards. For anyone hunting a Corolla Cross, RX Hybrid, or Sienna, the queue starts early, the price goes up, and patience is the only bargaining chip left. GMC Yukon, 28 days. That's all it takes for one of these behemoth SUVs, average price $87,674, to vanish from the lot. If you think that means a shot at negotiation, think again. Dealers know exactly how tight the supply is, and they're using every trick in the book to make you pay for the privilege. Market adjustment fees, standard. In Miami, a Yukon Denali XL carried a $7,000 markup, plus a $2,000 priority allocation charge, just to guarantee delivery before winter break. Buyers who hesitated found their build slots gone, snapped up by commercial operators and out-of-state brokers who wired deposits sight unseen. Dealer-installed options are another weapon. Paint protection, window tint, $1,200 for nitrogen-filled tires. None of it negotiable. In Denver, a family looking for a Yukon AT4 was told the only available unit included $4,500 in mandatory add-ons. Refuse, and the dealer moves to the next name on the list. The average transaction price for the Yukon now runs well above sticker, with buyers paying for packages they never wanted, just to avoid a 6-month wait. The Toyota Highlander, with a 30-day supply and a $52,052 average price, is no different, except the competition is even more cutthroat. Buyers aren't just fighting local demand, they're up against online bidders from across the country. Digital auction platforms like ACV and Manheim have turned the Highlander into an interstate bidding war. Dealers in New York and Florida routinely sell inbound inventory to out-of-state buyers before the vehicles ever arrive. One Dallas dealer described a Highlander Platinum that sold to a buyer in Phoenix, $4,000 over MSRP after a 5-minute online auction. The local wait list? Irrelevant. Whoever wires the deposit first wins. Fees pile up fast. Documentation charges, destination markups, and so-called convenience fees add thousands to the final bill. Some dealers even charge a queue-jump premium, $1,500 or more, to move your name up the pre-order list. One Chicago buyer described paying $2,800 in non-refundable fees just to secure a Highlander hybrid, only to find the delivery date pushed back another 3 months. There are no rebates, no dealer cash, no end-of-month fire sales. The message is blunt: pay up or get in line. Negotiation is a relic. Dealers have mastered the art of scarcity, and every day a new wave of buyers logs in, ready to outbid the last. The only way around the system is to accept every fee, every add-on, and every markup, or risk missing out entirely. For anyone hoping for a break, the answer is simple. The dealer always wins when demand outpaces supply. In the world of the Yukon and Highlander, patience isn't rewarded, it's punished. And with every online auction, every priority fee, the cost of entry climbs higher. The old playbook, shop around, haggle, wait for discounts, is useless here. All that matters is how much you're willing to pay and how fast you can wire the money. 29 days. That's all the time a Lexus NX Hybrid or Honda Odyssey spends on the lot before someone claims it, usually long before it ever touches the pavement. If you're thinking about buying one, forget about walking in and picking your color. Dealers work off strict allocation systems set by the manufacturer. Every month, Toyota and Honda send out a list: which dealers get which cars, and how many. If your local store hasn't sold enough hybrids in the past, they might not get any NXs at all. Bigger volume stores in major metros get the lion's share, and they know it. That's why pre-order queues have become the new normal for these high-demand models. Here's how it really works. You show up, ask about an Odyssey or NX Hybrid, and the sales manager offers to put your name on a list. Sometimes it's a $500 refundable deposit. Sometimes it's $2,000 and non-refundable. The rules change from dealer to dealer, but one thing is universal. There's no guarantee on timing, color, or options. You might wait 3 months, maybe 6. If you're picky about trim or want a rare color, expect to wait longer, or get bumped down the list if someone else is willing to take whatever comes in. The real kicker comes with the extras. Dealers know you're desperate, so they pile on the add-ons: paint protection, nitrogen in the tires, window tint, VIN etching, and extended warranties, all rolled into the deal, non-negotiable. Say no, and your spot in the queue might suddenly vanish. In Los Angeles, a buyer looking for a Malibu 31 days supply, $26,836 average price, was told the only way to keep her pre-order was to accept $2,300 in dealer-installed options. She paid it, then waited 4 months for delivery, only to see a $1,500 market adjustment tacked on at the end. For anyone navigating these queues, the strategy is simple. Get everything in writing. Demand a written deposit agreement, cancellation policy, and a time-stamped spot in the queue. Ask how allocations work and whether you can refuse unwanted options without losing your place. And don't be afraid to shop outside your home market. Sometimes a rural dealer in another state gets an allocation and will sell at a lower markup, especially if you're flexible on color or trim. In the world of 29-day supply, patience doesn't earn you a discount. It just buys you a chance to pay full price with extras. The only way to win is to know the rules, lock in your spot, and be ready to move when your number comes up. For the fastest-selling cars in America, negotiation is out, but smart navigation is everything. Let's talk about the real playbook for buyers staring down a lot full of 200-day-old inventory. The rules are simple. Stack every incentive, push for every bonus, and treat the sticker price as nothing more than a starting point. Dealers with aged inventory have one goal: move the metal, even if it means taking a loss. That's how a Nissan Versa, listed at $15,979, sells for under $14,000 after a $2,000 factory rebate, $1,200 in dealer cash, and a market adjustment that erases another chunk off the top. But this isn't just about budget sedans. Move up to the $42,248 Toyota BZ4X, a model sitting at a 32-day supply, right on the edge between slow mover and fast seller. In markets where BZ4X inventory lingers, buyers have scored up to 15% off sticker by stacking factory rebates with regional dealer cash and low APR financing. One recent deal in Ohio combined a $5,000 Toyota rebate, $1,800 in dealer markdowns, and a 1.9% APR offer, dropping the total price to just over $35,000. That's nearly $7,000 saved on a brand new electric crossover. The key was patience, waiting for the right mix of incentives and being ready to walk if the numbers didn't make sense. For models with 200 days or more on the lot, the savings can be even bigger. Maserati Grecale buyers in Miami have walked away with over $13,000 off MSRP by layering $10,000 in factory cash, a $3,500 dealer rebate, and a zero-interest finance offer. Dodge Hornet deals in Phoenix include $7,000 off sticker, plus free accessories and gas cards, all because the cars have sat unsold for nearly 9 months. Floor plan interest piles up, managers get desperate, and suddenly the buyer holds all the cards. The blueprint is repeatable. Start by researching the current market day supply for your target model. Anything over 120 days is ripe for negotiation. Over 200 and you're in clearance territory. Next, track active factory rebates, special APR offers, and dealer incentives. Sites like CarEdge and KBB update these weekly. When you walk in, mention the days in inventory, show proof of competing offers, and ask to see every available incentive stacked together. Don't settle for the first number. If the dealer won't budge, be ready to leave. The deals get better as the days tick by and the pressure mounts. This is the moment when patience pays. Dealers with aging inventory will do almost anything to turn a cold lead into a sale. Factory to dealer cash, demo conversions, bonus trade-in money, it's all on the table. Play your cards right, and a car that's been gathering dust for 200 days could end up in your driveway for 15 to 25% below sticker. That's not luck. That's knowing how to work the system. In August 2025, data showed the Nissan Versa sitting unsold for an average of 472 days, while the Toyota Corolla Cross spent just 20 days on dealer lots. This stark divide illustrates how some vehicles, especially luxury and electric vehicle models, have become hard to move, while practical hybrids and family cars are snapped up almost immediately. The evidence is clear. Buyers can negotiate savings of 15 to 25% on cars with over 200 days of inventory, while those seeking high-demand models face markups, wait lists, and limited leverage. Despite extensive reporting, the true extent of inventory masking tactics, such as off-site storage and demo conversions, remains only partly documented, as many dealer strategies are not publicly disclosed. What is certain is that market day supply and documented incentives now create unprecedented opportunities for informed buyers. As long as these imbalances persist, understanding inventory data will remain essential for anyone navigating the modern car market.